I promised it, now I'm going to deliver it. Steering column rebuild. Alright guys, so as I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to show you kind of some of the tricks that I'm doing to break down my steering column, which is actually all located down here as of right now because I haven't started to put it all back together. But I wanted to learn a couple tricks on what I was doing to break it apart to make sure I had some knowledge on this before I just started tearing into it and waste everyone's time. So there's two main parts that seem to go bad on these by what I've seen. One of which is the turn signal switch, which is this part right here. The big issue is, for mine for example, as you can see, one of the tabs, which is right here, is functional on this side, broken off on this side. So what that's going to prevent, when you have your turn signal switch, you turn it, it's going to lock into place on the one side, but when you try it on the other one with the missing tab, you press it, it'll go down, and then it will spring right back up and shut off on you. So that needs to be replaced. I was able to pick this one up on eBay, super cheap, all things considered, and it should work great for what I need it for. The second part, which I have on order right now, which should be coming via delivery by the end of the day, is the ignition switch. So after you get in, the ignition switch, the ignition for the key connects into with this, allows this to turn, and sends a signal for the ignition to start. As you can see though, mine has definitely had better days. I have wires disconnected, this entire end piece is crushed, so I'm going to change that out. I'm sure the ignition switch probably works fine, but I don't want to have to deal with cutting or resplicing. I'd rather just replace it and not take a chance of this failing on me. So, yes, other than that, I will show you a quick breakdown on what else has occurred for me to get down to this part. Alright, so the main thing is removing all the main bolts is the biggest thing. Looking through all of this, the inner sleeve and the outer sleeve connect together and they go fitting in like so. Now the big thing is, in order for you to be able to get the outer sleeve off, the inner sleeve has a ring, which is protected underneath the gasket and with a snap ring right along here. So I took a screwdriver, put it in, pried it, was able to get the snap ring off, bearing comes up, and then a rubber sleeve that protects the bearing. So this is going to have to get cleaned up, as you can tell. However, once that's off, this entire inner will slide out, and then you're left with the outer. So the outer, a little bit trickier. Quite a few screws are located in this top area. And not only that, you're going to have a bunch of these wires that are over here, all running through this one section right in here. So you're going to have to feed them through. In order to feed them through, take off the support brace that's down here with screws located on there. Also should have this, which is an additional plate that attaches like so. Screws there and there, allow it to come off. Remove the screws, you remove that. That allows the end connectors to actually be able to be route through, which is right here, feed through the hole, and feed out on the top. Another part that I ran into, which is kind of tricky, is when you're going to feed everything out, there's a top piece that goes for this. So I was trying my damnedest to get this bottom piece off. It doesn't come off. What actually happens is hold on to the main part and this top part comes off, giving you access to everything on the inside. Your ignition switch will be bolted up using these 3 screws right here and attached to your ignition actual key part there. So I unscrewed the 3 pieces, pulled out the ignition switch, and now I'm removing the actual key. Big thing to remember, it's pretty simple to remove. It's one press knob on top, but even if you do that, you're not going to be able to pull this out because it will catch on that one prong. So to fix it, that's pretty simple. I'm going to try to pull this out, but first I'm going to depress, and notice it slides out, but it stops because of that prong right there. Now watch, when you remove the key, prong goes away. Key in, key out, key in, key out. Key's out, pulls right out. And there is an easy way of getting that out, and now you're left with just the outer shield. So it's pretty nifty to be able to get it all apart. I'm going to see if I can again work to figure out how to get this bottom part off so I can clean it up off of the outer shaft. But beyond that, we're getting pretty close, and when all this gets back in, I should be able to get it back together. Alright, well, I took a break from yesterday. However, as I mentioned before, remember, outer shaft, inner shaft, and all your subcomponents, at some point they're all going to be taking wear and tear. I mean, even original parts, I don't know if you can see how well the pitting that occurs on the inside of it sitting. Now, originally when I looked at this, it didn't seem that bad, but once I was actually able to get a wire wheel to it and start scuffing it up a bit, that's when all the rust came up. So I'm going to continue working on some of these other original parts that have, again, not looking too bad, but once I hit this with a wire, it'll all come up and I'll see the rust that's been just baking away at this thing on the inside. Other than that, I'm going to scuff it, I'm going to get painting so I can get this thing reassembled. Alright, so the last part I'm going to worry about now, reassembly. I have everything I need except one gasket, which is at the very end, which I'll point out to you. But for the most part, putting this all back together is pretty simple, as long as you remember how to do it. And I really don't, but I understand the most of it. So you're going to see a very fast-forward version of trial and error and me trying to figure out how to get this done. And if there's any cuts, that means I got frustrated, took a break. Let's try it. So the trick I'm gonna try, I gotta figure out how to get that through so I don't have to de-pin it, because the board sits like so. I have to get that ran through the bottom, but it doesn't fit, so I gotta figure it out. So I was not able to use the actual metal brace to push the board down onto the turn light signal switch actually onto the housing, because the holes line up fine with the board, but once I try to use that adapter plate, the adapter plate hits too much on some of this aftermarket plastic design. So I just made it snug, it's not moving, should be good to go. Now, the reason why I did this off is because I can funnel it through, which I wasn't going to be able to do, trying to feed through this one and then through the bottom as well. So I can feed this one through first, then actually attach this, and we should be looking a lot better here in a minute. So I looked down, realized after I had put on the bearing and the retaining clip, I forgot to put on the bottom plate. So I took it all back off. Took off the clip, take off the bearing, re-slide back out the bottom portion here. You can slip back on the plate like so. Small plate attaches a large plate later on when you're ready to install. Now I'm going to put it all back together. I'm an idiot. Alright, well that's pretty much everything you need to restore a steering column. Now there is a caveat to that, because again I told you before I was waiting on one part. The part I ordered is actually a seal that goes down at the bottom. It has a retaining clip. Where did mine run off to? There it is. Also has a retaining clip, and as you can see from mine's pretty rusted out. So I ordered a new seal and a new retaining clip. It's very simple to get this apart. On the bottom, these two parts again just pull apart. Retaining clip comes off. New seal would get put on. New retaining clip, and there's actually a clip itself that goes on here that actually secures it on. But until I get mine, I'm pretty much out of luck. But with that being said, do not forget there's still one more piece that we haven't touched yet, and that is the coupler at the bottom. Typically it's filled with marine grease from back in the day. I cleaned out it out as best I could. There's no rust because it's covered in grease. However, I went through resprayed chassis black on this so I can re-grease it and squeeze these together, attaches on, and now it's done. So, short of this one part that I'm waiting on, I am done. I'll show you a quick a quick pan around on this, make sure it came out as well as you guys want yours to. But really beyond that, it's pretty easy. Alright, so as I mentioned before, this shop manual is a massive help. It has I've broken it down completely, but I can know steering column, there it is. I can pan through a couple pages. It has figures on everything, complete breakdowns on the complete nut to bolt, how you need to get it reinstalled. The paint colors I used, anything that was exterior, I ended up using chassis black, which is the same thing I have underneath the car. It seems very durable, has way too much shine to use on the entire thing, so I went with the same paint that I used on my dash, which is SEM or SEM black, or Orlando black. I used a low luster clear to match, so I'm hoping it's going to come out real nice once I get everything installed to that point. But that's going to end it for the video. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Comment below, tell me what else you guys want to see. As I'm trying to rebuild some of these things, maybe I can make a video if you're stuck on something. And as I try to figure it out, I can make a video on it and help out countless other people. But as always, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. Keep building.